These are the top crypto stories of the day. Number one, we have SBF. He said, I didn't do anything wrong. What do you think, chat? Also on, we have Bitcoin versus gold. Peter Schiff's been making more noise. He's got some hot opinions. We're going to break them down. And then last but not least, the U.S. government has just moved a wallet containing billions of dollars in Bitcoin. What does this mean? Do we have a huge dump coming? Let's go around the blockchain. Thank you for joining, everybody. And we're going to have OJ joining in a couple minutes, but we're going to go lead with Thinking Crypto. Thinking Crypto. Tony, how are you doing today? We were just talking about meme coins. Is now the time to buy memes or Bitcoin?
Man, you might be convincing me to go all degen into meme coins, but it's another exciting day in the bull market, guys. Despite the pullback, these things are normal, so I'm excited.
I've already sold all my Bitcoin, put it into the hottest meme coin on Deck Screener. I'm joking. Don't do that, folks, unless you have inside info. And then also we have Gary Cardone. He just sold a mansion for Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about that in the second topic. Gary, how are you doing today? Seeing you blowing up on social media.
Doing good, buddy. Just holding on.
Hey, always a good time. He's got 8 hands on all the Bitcoin he can obtain at any given time. But first, let's talk about SBF. He said, I didn't do anything wrong. I want to share this article first. Sam Bankman-Fried speaks out after sentencing. I never thought what I was doing was illegal. So I never thought what I was doing was illegal, said SBF, according to ABC. I'm haunted. He said he is haunted every day by what was lost. I never intended to hurt anyone or take anyone's money. We keep scrolling down. There's one more thing I wanted to share here. So he would be serving roughly 24 years. They're going to consider the months he's already spent behind bars. They're mainly justifying his actions before bankruptcy. And he's claiming the exchange would have survived and customers would have got repaid. Well, I did a little looking, because history likes to rewrite itself under our own eyes. They discovered $8.9 billion in customer assets were missing from the exchange. It's important to note that they froze the price of the customers' losses there. And so when you hear, oh yeah, customers are being repaid in full, if they lost a Bitcoin on FTX, they're not getting paid $65,000. They're getting paid, I think they froze it right around $17K. And so when you say, oh yeah, the customers were made whole, maybe hold in fiat terms, but they are not getting all of their crypto assets back. So just a very important note. Now he is saying, now I feel really bad. What was he saying? I never thought what I was doing illegal. I'm haunted by what was lost. He never intended to hurt anyone or take anyone's money. Why is he showing remorse now, Tony, instead of before sentencing when it actually mattered?
Oh, because the realization that he's going away for 25 years is setting in. And he's also trying to help himself maybe to get early parole. I know we got ways to go for that, but he's trying to change the narrative a bit, right? The headlines coming out right now, Sam Bankman-Fried, criminal fraud, sentenced to 25 years. He's trying to change the narrative a bit. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't think I was going to hurt anybody, but that's a big fat lie. He was sending the money to his pseudo girlfriend and the other clowns that were Alameda Research who didn't know what they were doing, trading those funds and were losing and losing. That's why the money was being sent over, because they were taking massive losses. It's a big time fraud. He's just trying to get people to feel sorry for him, but he needs to be in jail. The other part too, I don't know if he's got some mental health problems. There's talks that he's autistic, so maybe he's having issues processing his emotions and things like that. And I'm not trying to downplay mental health or autism or things like that, but it's unbelievable what this guy did, and he has to go to jail.
Yeah, having bronze in your favorite video game or, tapping your knee a whole lot, yeah, it's not giving you an excuse to break the law, everybody. Now, Gary, I want to ask you about Shake and Bake gifted 20 memberships. S&B, I appreciate it very much. He's a huge fan of SBF. We're kidding. Now, Gary, I want to bring up the campaign finance charges that they did not pursue against Sam Bankman-Fried. Depending on which report, second or third largest donor to President Biden, only beaten by George Soros, I believe. And there were tons of laws that were broken. He spent customer money and spent it on politicians' donations. He broke the law doing that. And then they refused to charge him for that. And then don't worry, prosecutors say, oh, we'll pursue those charges at a later date. They never pursued the campaign finance violations. Why do you think they chose to not pursue that? Is this corruption happening right before our eyes?
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. It's like, it seems like, what did I read today? That Mitch McConnell's worth $180 million? Like,
yes, he's married to the Chinese-born billionaire. Forget her last name, but yeah, his wife is a Chinese billionaire, or daughter of a billionaire, waiting for the inheritance. So, yeah, I don't know if we maybe got froze there. Oh, either that or he's very, very contemplative about it. We lost Gary. That's interesting. The things we bring up, and then all of a sudden, hey, maybe there's some internet issues after we expose government corruption. And I kid you not, Owen and Thinking Crypto, my internet went out 2 minutes before we went live. So, just some interesting coincidences here. Follow up here, Tony. Do you think he's genuinely remorseful? Whether or not it's because he realizes he has to do a quarter century. Is he remorseful today?
I don't think so, man. I've seen this guy lie so many times. I was actually in contact with him back in November 2022 via Twitter. We had a DM going about setting up an interview. And I saw him go with Andrew Ross Sorkin in the New York Times, and they tried to paint this narrative that he's this innocent kid. But when you look at the actions and the tweets and the emails and the things that were said behind the scenes, and I even spoke to Tiffany Fong, who was covering a lot of what he was doing, interviewing him, and so forth. She gave me a lot of insight that this guy is, I think he has some mental health issues, and I don't know if he's truly a narcissist or whatever it is. So I don't think he's truly remorseful. I think it's all him just trying to get people to feel sorry for him.
All right, trying to feel sorry for him. Well, it's in short supply right now. All right, well, let's go to the second topic, and it does look like we have OJ in the house now. We're going to talk about Bitcoin and gold. Is Bitcoin better than gold? Not everyone agrees. I want to show you a couple charts. I've tracked it since not year to date, but year to last year's date, January 2023. This is a trading view chart. These are weekly candles, and you can see gold. This is gold that we're looking at over the last 450 days or so. Gold is up 22%. Now let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is up not 29%, 294%, almost a 4x right there. But Peter Schiff brought up a gold point. This is the previous all-time high for Bitcoin. Bitcoin gold trading ratio was better years ago, and Bitcoin hasn't posted a new all-time high against gold in a couple years at this point. So Peter Schiff, he's taking a victory lap. He's pointing to this fact of saying, well, gold is better than Bitcoin. OJ, we got you on the show now. I want you to make the argument for Peter Schiff. We're going to steel man Peter Schiff here. In what ways is gold better than Bitcoin? I know it's a weird feeling, but why is gold better than Bitcoin here?
Oh, wow. You're asking the person who's always been my first video was about how Bitcoin is better than gold. And
that's why I'm asking you. You have to fight for the other side now.
Okay. So one way I feel gold is better than Bitcoin is use case. Let's face it, Bitcoin is amazing for transacting and not for transacting as a store of value for the moment and for non-censored transacting, but it is not really great for day-to-day transacting, right? And it's supposed to be digital cash, which is what the BSV camp keeps banging on about and everything. We can't really make it into a proper digital cash. It's more of a investment asset at this point. Everyone sees it as an investment asset. So we're not really using it for its main use case, which was to be digital cash. So if we talk about utility, gold has a lot more utility. It's used in technology, it's electronics, it's used in jewelry and all of that. It's, the properties of gold are undeniable. So because of that vast use case, you can make the argument that intrinsic value, gold really has it 100%. And also it's been a store of value for hundreds of years. So that track record cannot be denied. So in that respect, yes, gold is valuable and it's great for what it does. If you're looking for a quick investment, though, a quick turnaround of money, of course you're going to look into Bitcoin. But I'm not making that argument, actually.
Yeah. Now, there you go. You couldn't help yourself, OJ. You just couldn't help yourself. Now, Gary, I'm set you up for the other end of the spectrum. I want to read one comment. +1 for OJ without the glove. We prefer our OJs to not have gloves. Manolo Blahniks, that's okay. Gary, in what ways is Bitcoin better than gold, and why didn't the glove fit?
Whoa, I don't know about the last part, but look, I have gold and I have silver. I have 23,700 ounces of silver sitting literally 100 feet from me. We moved it to the garage, and it became such a hassle to move. Like, we just slowed it down. I've made $2 by that delay. The portability of gold and silver relative to Bitcoin, dude, it's not even close to a comparison. I have to send all that back. It has to get tested. All of it randomly will get tested. It'll take a week. It's just so slow. It was awesome before we had digits. We have digits now. We don't need to put 100 tons of gold on a ship that sinks to the bottom of the ocean. We don't, man. It's just the tools. Our old method of doing finance, we complain about it, but the truth is we didn't have anything else. So I think we did a pretty good job of bringing at least this country into the 21st century. We now have new tools. So we wouldn't use a shovel if we had an automatic digger, right? We just wouldn't do it that way. So we just have a whole world that's adjusting to technology. That's all this is a technological adjustment to a new world order that's going to be measured, accounted, tracked, traced, qualified, and probably taxed every movement. So that should be good in the long run.
Yeah, and the government, we're going to get into that story in a little bit, just moved billions of dollars in Bitcoin in minutes. Imagine trying to do that with gold. That's a whole lot of wheelbarrows. Now, back to Peter Schiff. I want to do gold and Bitcoin. I want to share this the little quote from Schiff. Now, another point for Schiff, Bitcoin, it had a price decrease of $3,000 in 10 minutes, which is crazy to him as a 4.5% decline. Say this decrease would be equivalent to 100 decline within the same minute. So it brings up it's a little bit more volatile. Now, Tony, his son, famous Bitcoin bull, Peter Schiff, then his son, it's his progeny, it's almost like a Shakespearean sonnet, is turning against his father there. I want to ask you, fun thought experiment. What do you think it's like at Thanksgiving? Do they still have the daggers out, or is it a little bit more congenial? Like, okay, pass that Bitcoin. Pass the gravy there. Ha 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 ha. What do you think it's actually like at their dinner table?
I thought about this because I wondered if they were just playing games on social media just to get Bill clout. But maybe it's legit, and maybe they have their arguments and debates at home, maybe over the Thanksgiving dinner table, right? But look, I'm a believer that you can hold both assets, and here's why I'm also bullish on gold. We see central banks have been hoarding gold over the past 10 years. And I think the reason is gold is going to go on the blockchain. It's going to get tokenized. I think we just heard HSBC is doing this. So eventually gold is going to have a lot of the principles, now the tokenized version, that we have with crypto. But I believe in holding both, because if I see central banks hoarding gold, that's a signal that they're preparing to do something. And I don't know what's coming, Black Swan, or it's just a matter of they know that we're going to tokenize this. And this is going to be, an asset that's going to be traded globally and be truly global, like Bitcoin and cryptos are.
All right, we got Jay-Z in the comments, not P. Diddy's best friend. No, different J, like the letters Jay-Z. Gun ammo is a better hold than precious metals, in my opinion. If the old proverbial hits the fan, they do say brass and lead will be the precious metals of the future. Can we share my screen real quick, Owen? Gary, highly recommend you go check out Gary's YouTube channel. This is from 6 hours ago. I sold $2.5 million mansion to buy Bitcoin. Gary, is there ever a world where you sell your mansion to buy gold? If it falls to $400 an ounce.
Well, maybe $400 an ounce. Maybe. But I probably wouldn't do that. In that scenario, Bitcoin would get crushed, and I'd be better off moving it into Bitcoin, IMO, in my opinion. But look, to me, first off, it's not a mansion. That was my marketing team. That I did not live there. It was a beautiful home.
Oh, it was in LA, so it was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath for $2.5 million. LA County.
No.
Oh,
it's insane,
okay.
Pete. Just to give you an understanding of how bad California is priced, it was 5,850 square feet on 1 acre with a 4-acre lake, a tennis court, a basketball court, a swimming pool, 4 bedrooms, monster kitchen. So it was an awesome home, right? But it's not a mansion, and it wasn't my primary home. Look, I was losing money on that property unless I'm renting it out every day. I wasn't living there. I bought it for 1.7, put some upgrades into it, and I looked at it. I'm like, there's no chance this property is going to increase in value unless I pour another $500,000 into renovations. I'm down 10% today. So it looks like I was really stupid because I deployed it immediately into Bitcoin. We'll see in 2 or 3 years if this was a good or a bad move. I suspect it was a really good move.
I suspect it was a really good move. And, the Florida insurance premiums have skyrocketed year over year. I think you're getting out at the right time. A lot of people moving to Florida from California, from New York due to 2020 lockdowns. And then some are leaving. Wait, my home insurance feels like it's the same. And some is just too hot. It was too hot. You ever try walking to your car? 100-degree weather in Arizona, California is not 100-degree weather in Florida, New Orleans, Louisiana as well. All right, let's talk about the billions being moved, everybody. Let us know, is it humid where you're from? My religious gold Jesus pendant chain, Jay-Z says. All right, Silk Road Bitcoin worth $2 billion moved by the U.S. government, according to on-chain data. Last time they made a sale was just more than a year ago. But we have breaking news, breaking news. Zach XBT has since done an update. He's been watching this wallet here. So they started out, they have $2.1 billion. They started out, now there's a coincidence here, folks. It was 0.001 Bitcoin. The intern, the tech guy, the nerd in the office, I don't know, the guy at the government accounting office, he sent $69 test transaction to a Coinbase deposit address, probably just because it's the decimal place, probably, or I don't know, maybe it's just nice. So it's a test transfer. But then we continue. Okay, so they moved to the same Coinbase Prime address there, and then we keep scrolling. Let me click back one more time. $139 million. So it looks like $139 million. They haven't moved all $2 billion as of right now. CryptoQuant, they've looked at the entirety of the government portfolio because IRS might have some, FBI might have some, Border Patrol. 210,000 Bitcoin worth $14 billion, meaning the U.S. government, one of the largest holders of Bitcoin there. Now, we got a giant movement of coins held by one of the biggest whales, OJ, the government. OJ, you saw this move. Does this freak you out? What's your emotions right now when you see this these funds being moved?
No, it doesn't freak me out. I mean, we've seen big amounts in the past. I mean, FBI has been, in the past, FBI was the biggest holder of Bitcoin at some point. I remember seeing some statistics, people who monitor these wallets and stuff like that. And they do sales every now and then. I mean, with the way ETFs are buying Bitcoin right now, this is probably a week for them to accumulate all of that Bitcoin that they're trying to sell, if they're going to be selling all of that. And there's no indication that all of this amount is going to be sold. I guess they might be selling it in portions and stuff. This is what they've done in the past. I don't think this is going to crash the market in any way. I mean, we already have a correction coming, already going. And this makes perfect sense because we attempted that all-time high. We tested it a few times. We got rejected a few times. Of course, we're going to have a correction. It's very normal. I don't think it's because of that. And if they start selling aggressively, yes, we might actually drop by another 5% or something. But have you noticed in this market, we've had the biggest correction so far has been 16%. It's not really a correction. It's a pullback. We haven't seen a 20, 25, 30% correction yet. And even if that happens, I'm not going to be worried because this is normal in a bull market.
All right. I agree with that. We haven't seen the 20% pullback. We kind of got close with the Wix, 17%, the 71 to 60, whatever it was. So yeah, we haven't seen that 20%. Now, thinking crypto, I'm looking at when they last sold. So this is around the last time they sold. I'm pulling it up on TradingView. March 2023, they sold about $23,000. So that was the last time that they moved any Bitcoin. They moved 9,861 coins, 216 million. Tony, why do you think they just took a break for a year? You know, you would think the bigger the amount, the more likely you want to have like a DCA, a step in, step out, ladder strategy. What's up with the moves today? I mean, is it our debt? I mean, is it the tax man? I mean, what's going on? Why are they all of a sudden taking 12 months off and then now unloading?
So I tweeted about this earlier. I gave 3 scenarios. First, they're looking to dump this Bitcoin for whatever reason. I don't know, because they're in the debt cycle and all these things. 2, they're planning to store some of this Bitcoin on Coinbase custody because it's being moved over to Coinbase. Or number 3, Uncle Larry Fink is about to take over that Bitcoin via OTC. So they're not going to sell it on the open market, but it's going to be on the Coinbase's OTC trading desk. So we'll see, but I'm not worried about this. This is a joke. We've seen the U.S. government do this stuff before, and look what Grayscale's been doing to the market, right? They've been selling, and the Wall Street ETFs have been buying up. So if they're doing this in the bear market, yeah, it's kind of painful, right? Because it just keeps going down. But we have bullish momentum. Nothing's stopping this train.
Oh wow! I pulled up your tweet. I love scenario number 3. Larry Fink is just trying to get some good OTC deals. Does Larry Fink have that much power where he can compel the U.S. government to sell some of their old seized Bitcoin so he can have a nice, easy OTC deal? Does BlackRock have that much power?
Well, I don't know what the result would be. Unless they're buying for their own account. These are ETFs. They buy and sell based on supply and demand.
Yeah.
So look, they sold it. What was it? 23,000?
Yeah. Last time they sold March 23K is where they sold. Yeah. They got about 210 million.
If I had done that, would you continue allowing me to make the decisions on when we price our property?
Only if you put it into Solana in March 23.
You'd have fired my ass, dude. That's what you would have done. No one's going to get fired. I actually think this is very bullish. If they're selling, I'm a buyer.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Now, how are you feeling about
they have a different strategy than we do. So we should love these sellers, dude. This is awesome.
Are you feeling like the local rally is due for a reset? Are we going to touch, maybe some range in the 50s in the near term?
I sure hope so.
Right. I like that.
I would love that. I don't, like the gentleman earlier said, we're in a bearish market. I don't see this as a bear market. Well, this looks like a very strong market that every one of you guys that have been here longer than me, you would have said, hey, we need a 20, 22, 25% correction. And that has not happened. 17% happened. And then we went up 11. We had 26% move in one day, man. But we're having these moves all over the place. Like, people are forgetting NVIDIA, Mr. Schiff, NVIDIA went up $250 billion in 12 hours. This is a public stock. 200 analysts fucked it completely up. So there's a lot of things going on in the market right now. People are pricing risk and opportunity very differently today than they did even 5 years ago. So it's game on, man. We got gold, we got silver moving. I think you're going to see some other base commodities start to move.
All right. And I think if Bitcoin moves another 20% to the downside, Mrs. Cardone might have to hear an explanation on why we live in a tiny home, because he had to sell another house, everybody. He just might have to. I pulled up on TradingView the 17% correction. I was just wondering, what was that time period? It was really the second wick was right there, 6 days. 6 days, we got a 17% correction. If we look at the chart right now, what are we looking at? And if we were to hit 17%, right now we have fallen about 10%, 10 point something. If we were to fall 17%, stop. Looks like we're looking at a $59,000 Bitcoin. So maybe bouncing right at that 60K psychological level. So it's pretty interesting numbers, just compelling narratives right now. Well, all right, let's go around the blockchain real quick. Let's see. We have the US, we have SPF. All right, we'll go up. Thumbs up or thumbs down, all three at the same time. Thumbs up if SPF felt remorse. Thumbs down if he felt no remorse. What are we feeling? I'm feeling like he's not feeling much remorse, folks. You know, maybe if he did it ahead of the sentencing. Chat, do you think SPF is feeling some remorse? I think we're all kind of maybe in agreement. Very quick thumbs down hitting the chat there. All right, well, folks, that was the show for the day. We appreciate you sticking around this long. Make sure you go down into the description. We have links for all the channels. Make sure you watch Thinking Crypto's big breakdowns. OJ Jordan, very unique perspective. He's under Milei's, I was going to say thumb, but you're your own man. He's under his rule, under the aristocratic rule of Javier Milei, the financial dictator. And then Gary, watch his video, see why he's selling a mansion for Bitcoin, folks. Really, really compelling stuff. It's his marketing team. He couldn't help it. But folks, we appreciate it. If you're watching on X, make sure you hit that repost. Let's go ahead and pump our own bags, pump up that Bitcoin. Let's even pump up the gold. Peter Schiff needs a win. That's all we got, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.